Tongues Untangled
with Towdeemac
and Levi.
I don't really know the balance run. Now they give me balance, I could come around. Cause there's a lot of things that we can talk about. When we can chop it up, we week like on Sunday. I don't really know the balance run. Now they give me balance, I could come around. Cause there's a lot of things that we can talk about. When we can chop it up, we week like on Sunday.
Hello, lovers of lyricism, and welcome to the second episode of Tongues Untangled with myself, Levi Moachi, and the legendary Towdeemac.
Yeah, baby. And a big shout out to each and every one of you that viewed the first episode, the subscriptions, the comments, the likes, the shares. Yo, guys, we really appreciate you. God bless you, man.
We appreciate you. God bless you. And if this is your first untangling, we're so pleased to have you. If you're wondering what is this that you're watching, Tongues Untangled is an edutainment podcast where we untangle some of South Africa's favorite vernac lyrics.
Just like that, man. And speaking of which, here's this episode's Tangled Time.
Yo, what up, Tongues Untangled? It's your boy Shaun here. Honored to be a part of the podcast, and shout out to all the viewers out there. I have a bit of a strange story as to how my love of vernac rap started. Growing up in Jozi, I once accidentally attended a Pro Kids show. And hearing Pro was the first time I ever heard someone chopping and changing in and out of different languages live on a mic. And Pro was doing it on levels, in my opinion. So the next day I headed out, I got that Heads and Tails and I got that DNA album at the same time. But this led to the start of my journey in SA hip-hop and opened the door to Motswako and just Mzansi music in general. I've always been a fan of beats and bars, and even though a lot of the time I have no idea what's being said, you can just feel it in a song when an artist is going in with the bars. It transcends language and you get into that groove when you just know a dude is spitting. A great example of this to me is when Towdeemac is going in on his verse from the track Wannabeez from Khuli Chana's Lost in Time on the track. The beat goes hard, and I get the gist of what he's saying, but I actually have no idea what he is saying. I just know I get that involuntary head movement when Towdeemac is going in, especially in that part with the 4 on the floor clap sequence. So while I'm here with Motswako legend Towdeemac, it would be nice to know what he's actually saying. The flow is undeniable. So please, Towdy, Liv, I need my tongue untangled.
One thing I'm talking how for pits I'll feel pain. I'll tell out I'll fail. I'll that's I'll need it drain. I'll tell every day why I'll cause complain. How can stop you get baba lost up in your brain?
Wow, it's amazing how people from different backgrounds have a common love for Motswako and SA vernac rap at large. And Shaun, my boy, the next time I see you, I really want to hear the story of how you landed at a Pro Kid event by mistake.
Right? I also want to know. And actually, when I was writing that Wannabeez verse, I wasn't even thinking that it would... I mean, that's one of my most hardcore Motswako verses.
Yes.
You know, after Sebaka nyana, you know, I didn't expect that it would affect a white brother.
Yes.
you know, like that. So
yes.
Big up to you, Shaun, man. Wow.
So, before we get to the untangling of the verse,
Yes.
Shaun mentioned something very cool, important. Explain to us 4 to the floor.
Oh, yeah, he did speak about 4 to the floor. Well, 4 to the floor, it just refers to the counts in a bar.
Right.
You know, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's about 1, 2, 3, 4 in a song.
Right.
So if a song is going boo, tap, the boo is falling on the 1 and the 3, and the tap is falling on the 2 and the 4.
Got you.
But a 4 to the floor would be boo, boo, boo in the case of dance music.
Right.
Doof, doof.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Thank you, baby.
Yeah.
I know someone doesn't know that out there.
Yeah.
So let's get to today's untangling, right?
Oh, okay.
So which part of the verse are we untangling?
Actually, there's a part I think I've untangled to you before.
Yep. Yes.
And I know it's a lot of people's favorite part of the verse.
Yes.
It's where I reference, it's a Dead Prez Drake type of reference.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Dead Prez did it on hip hop. Drake did it on Over.
Right. Yes.
You know? One thing about music, when it hits you, feel no pain, right?
Right.
So I flipped it and did a Motswako version of that and actually ran with that.
Yes.
Like I extended on that.
Right.
Right. So I go, one thing ka Motswako how go betsa feel pain, how go tell out tlale fail, how go tlatsa o need drain, la o ka dlala every day why o ka se complain, how ka stop you get babalas up in your brain. Right?
Right.
So let's untangle that. One thing ka Motswako,
One thing ka Motswako,
how go betsa,
how ho betsa,
how feel pain.
how feel pain.
What do you think that means?
One thing about Motswako, when it hits you, feel no pain.
Yes. Correct. High five it.
Come on. Come on, that's like the easiest part.
Okay. And then the next one is how go tela
How ho
tela
tsela,
how tlale fail.
how tlali fail.
What do you think that means?
You don't get dirty.
Yeah, when it what?
When you listen to Motswako, you don't get
No,
dirty.
when it spills on you.
When it spills on you, you don't get
You
dirty.
don't get dirty. Yeah.
Right?
How go tell? Or when it sprays you, you don't get dirty. How go tell how need it? How tlale fail. How go tlatsa?
How ho tlatsa,
How need it drain?
how needy drain.
What do you think that means?
You don't need a drain.
Yeah, so when it fills you up, you don't need a drain.
Right.
Now, in SA street lingo, go tlatsa or uqalisela is to fill up or to impress. It's a metaphor for impressing someone.
Okay.
So when you impress, you say I'm filled up, get lit.
Okay.
You know. So in this reference, it's a play on that metaphor.
Got
Like,
you.
when it fills you
Got
up, you
you.
don't need a drain.
Got you.
You know?
Right.
And then lauka dlala,
Lauko tlala,
lauka dlala.
lauka dlala,
Every day.
every day.
Wire.
Wire.
Okase complain.
How
Okase complain.
Okasi complain.
Yes. What do you think that means?
No idea.
Even if it plays every day,
You
on
won't complain.
On and on, you won't complain.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That's
right?
very true.
And
Right.
then the last line is, how ka stopa,
How ka stopa,
you get babalas
you get babalas
in your brain.
in your brain.
What is that? What do you think that means?
And if you stop listening to Motswako, you'll end up with a hangover.
Boom. Because babalas means...
Hangover.
Yes, see? Because that's a universally South African word,
Yes,
babalas, you know?
yes.
So yeah, if Motswako stops playing, you get babalas in your brain. So one thing ka Motswako, how go bets out feel pain, how go tell out tlale fail, how go tlatsa how need it drain, how ka dlala every day wire, ka se complain, how ka stop you get babalas up in your brain.
I remember when you explained this to me.
I have untangled this tongue to you
Mm.
before.
Props to the lyricist.
Fine. Now I'm talking. You know, it's the whole five and Q-tip discussion.
Yeah,
you know?
we argue a lot about
it's
that.
the Kabelo Ntukulo discussion.
Yeah.
You know what I
Thank
mean?
you.
So for me, is like Selvin broke it down, fam. It's like Ntanga. The Motswako cats, especially Murafi, you get lost in the flows and the niceness. And,
Yeah.
You know, it's like Camp Low. You know what I mean?
Yes,
It's
yes,
like,
definitely.
Right? But he was like, I'm gonna listen. Listen to the rhyme scheme, Zapari. Listen to the double entendres, triple
Listen to
entendres.
this guy. Thing is, if you know the group, you know who's who and what's what.
Yeah,
Towdeemac, don't just count
but-
him. He's
but-
the guy.
Yeah, man, that was so dope. A big shout out to the brothers there, Amu and C Live, man. You know, it's always so dope to get your flowers while you can still smell them. Speaking of which, shout out to DJ Slim as well for giving Khuli Chana his flowers in the previous episode, man. That was dope.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And that brings us to today's segment of Backstage Lectures, where we discuss music business concepts and topics.
Yeah, and on today's segment, we talking about the difference between, you see, there's riders. You know, when you're doing a show, the promoters will ask you for a rider. So we're doing the difference between a technical rider and a hospitality rider. Now, why don't you explain what a rider is?
So, baby, a rider is basically a legal term referring to the additions of an already standing legal agreement. That's what a rider is. And I'm going to explain to you guys today, I'm going to share with you guys what a hospitality rider is. A hospitality rider is a list of items that an entertainer would need fulfilled at an event to make themselves more comfortable. Think of the word hospitality. So that's everything to make you comfortable, such as meals, drinks, specific seating, specific couches because you have a bad back, and specific accommodation. It can go on to other things. You know, you hear of crazy things like diva behavior when an entertainer wants a certain color of
expensive
flowers,
bottles of alcohol,
of alcohol and waters, or expensive waters.
You know,
and
what I've found interesting is some artists will ask for so much alcohol and that they don't even sometimes drink. Or, so much alcohol, and you're wondering, are these guys opening a bottle store because
Yes.
sometimes they're just passing by.
Yes.
And yet they want like 2 bottles of this and 2 bottles of that, and they just there to perform and be out.
And I would implore.
I've seen managers come into a gig, pick up the rider, the bottles, and just bounce. And then the artist comes afterwards, performs, and leaves. So I don't know, man. How do you promoters deal with that? Like,
I implore artists to be considerate for the promoter, because if you have already been paid a full booking fee, you shouldn't be that stringent on I need whatever's on the list for my hospitality rider, because a booking fee is already a lot of money, and now on top of that, they've got to go and buy these expensive
and then you bring
bottles
an
of
entourage, then people got to come in for free.
Exactly.
Then you want all these things, and you wanted your payment, and then promoters don't make their money back.
Yes.
Events don't succeed. You wonder why events dwindle.
Yes. So I would advise artists not to be greedy. I'm going to be... I'm not gonna candy coat it.
Yeah.
I'm saying, man, don't be greedy. If you're getting a full booking fee, don't demand a hospitality rider in the form, a lot in the form of expensive alcohol, and it has to be 5 to 10 star accommodation.
If you're performing for free,
completely different ballgame.
if you're performing for free,
Yes.
I understand.
Yes.
Because then you got to make it worth it as a promoter.
Exactly.
You really have to make it worth it. Or if I give you a really good discount, it's understandable.
Yes.
But if a promoter paid you in full, be considerate. This guy's got to make his money back.
And one thing we're finding with a lot of artists is that the hospitality rider is more important than the tech rider. You tell me why a tech rider is more important than a hospitality rider.
Yes, we are discussing the difference between a hospitality rider and a tech rider.
Yes.
And your promoter, whoever's booking you for an event, will always ask for both, right? The hospitality rider, as Liv has said, is more about, what you're going to need, your drinks, your provisions, your refreshments, right? Technical rider is more about what you're going to need as a service provider on stage, as an entertainer. You do have to bring your own guitar pick, but you might need cables. You might need a stage monitor. That goes in your technical rider. If you need a mic, because you're going to be singing, that goes into your technical rider, right? If you're a drummer, you bring your own drumsticks, but you might be provided a drum set, or you just might be provided a backline, right?
What's a backline?
A backline is all of the equipment, the miking, the cabling that you will need, and the monitoring that you will need for drums for a live performance.
Right.
So that would be all those requirements will go into your technical rider.
So to sum it up, this is our opinion. A tech rider is way more important than a hospitality rider, because a tech rider is going to make sure that the venue has everything that you need to give us a professional performance, or what you envision or have rehearsed a performance to be. The hospitality rider is secondary, and it takes care of everything you need to make yourself comfortable. You really, really need water. And that brings us to the end of this week's Backstage Lectures.
Spoken like a true manager.
And just like that, we've come to the end of the second episode of your newest favorite edutainment podcast, Tongues Untangled.
Yeah, baby. And if you haven't yet, please don't forget to subscribe, share, like, follow us on all our social media. You know we like to hear from you, so leave your comments.
Let us know which tongues you'd like us to untangle.
Let us know which tongues you'd like untangled, because we love to untangle tongues right here. Untangled tongue. Tongues Untangled is a tongue twister, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Tongues Untangled. If you're practicing voiceovers, you should say tongues untangled 10 times. Ow! Any words of wisdom?
I'd like to leave you guys with some words of wisdom this week, which is your attitude determines your altitude, which basically means that however you approach a situation and keeping a positive mindset will determine how high you go. Keep a great mindset, keep a great attitude, and you will go higher.
Wow.
There we go.
I love that, baby. Until next time, let's find some tongues to untangle.
Tongues Untangled
With Towdeemac
and Levi.
I don't really know the balance one. Now they give me bala, I could come around. Cause there's a lot of things that we can talk about. When we can chop it up, we like on Sunday. I don't really know the balance one. Now they give me bala, I could come around. Cause there's a lot of things that we can talk about. When we can chop it up, we like on Sunday.